Welcome to all of you. In this session we are going to discuss about optical network nodes and switching elements, wavelength division multiplexed networks, and public telecommunications network overview. Let us start with the optical network node and switching elements. An optical node is a multifunctional element that can perform various tasks as per the network requirement. These various tasks involve sending, receiving, processing, and redirecting of the optical signal. Now, when several different wavelengths of light, that means in a multiplexed manner, if they are traveling through an optical network, then a signal or a wavelength from that multiplexed set can be isolated, that is demultiplexed, and it can be rerouted. Therefore, it can be referred as the wavelength router. That means a network node can also be referred as a wavelength router and also wavelength converting router. Wavelength converting router in the sense, if lambda 1 is the input, it can change that to the lambda 2. In such cases, this is known as the wavelength converting router. See, the diagrams over here are going to represent 4 different functionalities of an optical router. So let us take one after the another. The figure A, in this we can observe that this is going to act like a demultiplexer. That means two wavelengths lambda 1 and lambda 2, they are together entering into this system, and at the output of the system they are being separated to lambda 1 and lambda 2. So this is going to act like a demultiplexer. Coming to the second one. So now this figure B is going to act like a multiplexer. That means combining two different wavelengths into one combination of wavelengths. So therefore lambda 1 and lambda 2 are the input, and at the output we can observe that both the wavelengths are being combined and represented as lambda 1 and lambda 2. Coming to this figure C. In this figure C, this is known as the add drop multiplexer. So here we can observe that lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 are the inputs, and the output is lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 4. So mistakenly it is printed as lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 at the output. Please make a correction over there. The output must be lambda 2, lambda 3 and lambda 4. Now coming back to this explanation. So the name itself is going to indicate what it is: add drop multiplexer. So add drop multiplexer in the sense one wavelength will be dropped, another wavelength will be added in its place. That is what we are going to make an observation here. So lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 are the input side. Among them the wavelength lambda 1 has been dropped, so represented as drop, and on the other side from the port 3 lambda 4 is being added, so add representation is going there. Now in place of lambda 1, now lambda 4 is going to work for us. Therefore at the output we are going to have the wavelengths lambda 2, lambda 3 and the lambda 4. Now coming to the figure D. So in the figure D we can make an observation that, so input at this point at the port 1 lambda 1, lambda 2, at the port 2 lambda 3, lambda 4. Observe the output side, port 3 lambda 1, lambda 3 and port 4 lambda 2 and lambda 4. Now here we can make an assessment what has happened. Now let us start with this lambda 1, lambda 2 input, and exactly opposite side corresponding output is lambda 1, lambda 3. So that means there is a change in the wavelength has happened. So this clearly indicates multiplexing, demultiplexing, add and drop operation. Therefore this is known as a 2x2 switch, 2 input 2 output switch, where the lambda 2 at this point has been changed over to this direction, and lambda 3 at the input port has been changed over and it has been given to the port 3. Therefore, at the output we are going to have a changed combination lambda 1 lambda 3 and lambda 2 lambda 4. Now this is just by considering few wavelengths, that is lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 4. 4 wavelengths are being considered in this example. If we take n number of such wavelengths, that is what the figure E is going to indicate. So in the figure E we can observe that input lambda 1 up to lambda n, output we are also going to have lambda 1 to lambda n, and in the middle we are going to have the optical switch and also the drop and the add multiplexer, which is going to perform the necessary operation. Now these block diagrams are going to show the optical cross connection. The figure A is the block schematic representation. The figure B is going to indicate the fiber cross connection. Here we can clearly observe, here it's the entry point and it has been changed and it has been over here as a second output. So that's why this is the actual physical representation we are going to have. And the figure 3 is going to represent the logical cross connection. So from one to all other there is a possibility of the changeover of the wavelength. So in such a case we are going to have these dashed lines as a connection. So overall we call this as the logical cross connections. Now coming into the wavelength division multiplexed networks. Under this we are going to study two different types. First one, the broadcast and select network. Second one, the wavelength routing. So let us take one after the another. Okay, so this diagram is going to indicate a representation of broadcast and select network. So from the terminology itself we can understand what actually it is going to do. Now let us observe this fact on this diagram. So in this diagram on the left hand side all of them are the transmitters. So wavelengths lambda 1 up to lambda n we are going to have. On the other side we are going to have all the receivers receiving various wavelengths, and in the middle we are going to have these transmitters and receivers connected in a star coupler. Now coming to the concept of broadcast. So at the transmitter side all these transmitters are going to make a transmission with their respective wavelengths lambda 1, lambda 2 up to lambda n. At the receiver side each of these receivers are going to receive all the wavelengths of light starting from lambda 1 up to the lambda n. Now all these does not belongs to all of these receivers. Therefore, so whichever belongs to that particular receiver, that will be taken, processed by that particular receiver, and remaining other wavelengths can be neglected. So that means that will be left unused by that receiver. So this is what the broadcast. Now we can avoid that concept by sending only one particular wavelength as per the requirement of the receiver. That comes to the term select. So what does it mean for? When all these transmitters are going to transmit, at this star coupler it is going to identify which wavelengths must be routed to which particular receiver. So that routing is being done in a selective manner. For example, transmitter 1 may be concerned with this receiver 1. So lambda 1 will be conveyed to the receiver 1. Similarly, lambda 2 selective. This is called selective. Lambda 2 may be transferred to this particular receiver. So like that we are going to perform the selection of those wavelengths. So that's why this type of representation we call this as broadcast and select network. Now what all I explained with respect to previous slide, so they are all being represented over here in terms of wordings. Let us go through these terminologies. Wavelength division multiplexing technique is classified into either broadcast and select network, which we had already gone through, and or or wavelength routing networks, which we are going to study in the next slide. Broadcast and select network strategy is based on the star coupler. It should be noted that all transmission are broadcasted to all network nodes, and hence most of the transmitted power is depleted on the receiver which do not use it. So that means, as I told you before, all wavelengths of light will be received by all the receivers, but all those wavelengths are not utilized by them. So that is what the wastage, that is, which is do not use it. That's what the term we are going to have. Let us start with the second one, that is wavelength routing. So in order to make the explanation of this wavelength routing, we are going to consider a network consisting of 5 nodes A, B, C, D and E. So based on this network we are going to make the explanation. So let us start one after the another. So start with figure A. So figure A is going to indicate a simple network which is physically connected amongst. Getting into figure B. So figure B is concerned with the wavelength assignment. So in the continued figure B as well as in the figure C, we are going to consider 3 different wavelengths, lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3 for the explanation. Right? So let us start with this figure B. In the figure B, we can observe that all these dashed lines are going to indicate the direction of the flow of each of the wavelengths. For example, A to B, so there is lambda 1. So from C to B, so there is lambda 2. So like this, mutual connection between each of these nodes are being represented. Now let us consider an example of it. Let us consider A and B are being communicated mutually. If A want to make any transmission to the B, then it is going to make use of this particular path with the wavelength lambda 1. Now simultaneously, remember simultaneously, if B wants to make any transmission back to A, then the same path cannot be preferred since it is already being used. Now B is going to traverse through the node E to transmit a data to the node A. That is what is being represented here. So this is the wavelength assignment we are going to have. Coming to the last one, the virtual topology. So what this virtual topology is going to say is, all the nodes are interconnected, may not be always via the same concept. For example, from A to C I want to have an establishment of the path. So there are several paths. Several wavelengths can be made use in order to make an interconnection between the two nodes. So no real path is going to exist. So all are virtual paths. As per the requirement, the wavelengths will be assigned and a path will be established and the communication will be done among those nodes. So this is called the virtual topology. Okay, so the same is being represented in terms of words over here. So let us go through these words. Routing and wavelength assignment. Communication between two nodes will happen using different wavelengths. In virtual topology, only wavelength signals identify the possible interaction between nodes as given by the routing and wavelength assignment. Before getting into the next topic, let us go through these two definitions. Single hop, multi-hop. So single hop, direct communication between two nodes. So there is no intermediary node, it is the point-to-point communication. Multi-hop, transmission using intermediate nodes. So it says there is no point-to-point communication. It has to traverse through some other nodes to reach to the destination. That's called the multi-hop. So coming to the next one, public telecommunications network overview. So let us go through the definition for this one. The telecommunication network providing services in the public domain is known as public telecommunications network. and each service providers can offer various types of services like voice, data and the video transmission. The overall system is divided into three tiers. First one, the long haul network, also known as the core or the backbone. Second one, metropolitan, also known as backhaul network. The third one, access networks. Let us go through the diagram of it. This diagram is going to indicate the hierarchy structure, where at the top we can observe the long haul or core, next metropolitan, and the last one the access. So the long haul network is also known as the backbone of the system, which is going to cover either a continent or the complete globe itself. The metropolitan, as the name itself indicates, it is having the capability to cover a metropolitan city which runs for tens of kilometers. The last one is the access. So this is going to have the end user connectivity. As we can observe over here, the users are connected via a remote node, and this remote node is connected to the local office, and this is going to cover few kilometers. And if a person wants to communicate between two who are residing in two separate continents, then it has to traverse through all this. For example, user over here to the remote, then via the long haul network which will be connected to some other network, and then it will reach us to the user at the another end. So this is what the hierarchy system in the optical network we are going to have. So what I explained in the previous slide, same is being given in a concised manner over here. The long haul is the backbone network and runs for thousands of kilometers, provide national and the global coverage. Hierarchical level resides at metropolitan area network and runs tens of kilometers. Connection between optical nodes are achieved by OADMS or the optical cross connectors. The LAN, that is the last one, LAN extends from few hundred meters up to 20 kilometers. This is the primary interface between user and the network. So this corresponds to the access part. Okay, we'll stop this at this instant. Thanks for joining.